Good afternoon. Today is the 2nd of January and it's time for the 4.5-year ownership report on this 2019 SsangYong Tivoli 1.6 X e-XGi or whatever it is. I can't remember the thing they call the petrol engine now. Ultimate. The company's since been renamed KGM. We've had this car since July 2020. The Ultimate was a top of the range car back in 2019 and it was sort of cost around £19,000. We bought this car in July 2020 and it cost about 13,700, I think it was. The company is still around. It's called KGM now. It was bought a couple of years back by a Korean conglomerate called the KG Group, and over here known as KGM, although you still will see this logo on the cars, even though the SsangYong name isn't really used anymore. Funnily enough, that since they've rebranded as KGM, the sales for the company have actually decreased rather than increased over here, which is a bit of a shame. Boot on this car is around 400 litres. The cars all come with this little thing which shows you that Tivoli is I love it backwards, which is one of the sort of random things about them. The Ultimates have parking sensors and reversing camera standard. The car was facelifted in 2020 and 2023. This is a late pre-facelift car. Got it from Platinum SsangYong in Froome, or Platinum KGM as they are now. Actually a pretty good dealership, to be honest. They supplied some other cars for the on the channel back in the early days. So we'll just have a look under here. It's a bit of a mess at the bottom of here. This is one of our daily cars, so it does get used a lot. You actually see that all of these come with a space saver spare, which is fantastic. One reason we bought this car. Unfortunately, this low blind is missing. It broke a while ago, and I've been looking at getting it sort of fixed, but I need a spring that came out of it. We can't find the spring at the moment, so we can't put it back in. But because this rear window is so heavily tinted, you don't really need it a lot of the time. And the base model of these didn't even come with one. You can recline these seats forward and back. Just be very careful when you do this. You don't snap the parcel shell, which we did. So you can put it sort of there, or you can put it even further back. You can put it kind of there if you want. It's just up to you what you want to do. Normally we have them here because, you know, we want the battery space opposed to the boot space. The sill height is quite high. Some of these come with a luggage board to make the sill height a little bit better, but what it does is make the boot a bit smaller. You could also get the XLV version until 2020, which actually has a much bigger boot. It's about 750 litres, but the XLVs are not the nicest looking cars in the world. So they just continued with the facelift in 2020. Still see them around. There's not tons of them, but you do see them. If you really want like the biggest boot possible, then by all means buy one. It's a little bit dark today, unfortunately, so it's not going to be the best sort of interior. We might actually try to keep this light on if we can. You do get a rear courtesy light, unlike in something like an MG ZS of the era. You also get these really weird sort of bungee cord things, which no one's been able to explain to me why the car has them, but it does. That is missing on there. You can see here we've got a huge sort of door bin on here. We've got leather seats in this car with this little it's nice stitching. We've got centre armrest as well, which is good, and some cup holders. Actually, materials aren't too bad for the price of these cars. The base model in 2019 was about £12,000 or something. It's very, very cheap. Obviously, if you buy a brand new one of these, and you can still buy them brand new, even though the car's now been out 10 years, you can still buy a brand new one of these under KGM. They all have a 1.5 litre engine, which came with a facelift actually. There was a 1.2 as well at the time, but that's been discontinued now. So we'll look at the interior quickly. Hope it's not too dark in here. Let's leave this door open if I can, or maybe just put it like that. There we go. So we've got all-round electric windows. But one thing I would say about these is they feel really cheap. They feel nasty. That's not very good. Powerful motors are good, and then all the other things you want. Door locking button is down here. So on the inside, we'll keep the light on if we can. Put some extra lights on. Actually, no, both of those lights on, it's fine. So the interior is quite weird in this car. It's sort of interesting. So we started up, you just get a dial sweep there. If I just shut the door and turn both these lights on, there we go. You can see we've got sort of these coloured sort of rings around the instrument cluster. They're blue because I've set the car to actually have them as blue when you turn it on and the automatic lights come on, which I think is good. You can have different colours, but it's white during the day I've set it up to be. So if we use this this control here, you can go through and see everything here. It's kind of got lane keeping assist, digital clock and all sorts of things. That's the outside temperature, and then cluster setting, which you can go in and you sort of see if you kind of want to sort of play around with this, like dashboard lighting, play around with that, and all that sort of thing, average fuel settings and welcome sounds and things. You can turn welcome sounds off, but I kind of like it because I'm a strange person, and you know, the Tivoli is a strange car, so we like that, we leave it alone. The fuel economy is not always the best in this car, depending on the time of year and things. There's about 36 at the moment. If you went on a long journey, it'd be more than that. So we've got DAB radio in here. We've actually got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as well. Setup might sort of show sort of a bit more of this. No, it's for SatNav. SatNav's a TomTom system. Thing is, I don't really use it anymore because this car's from 2019, and so the navigation is a bit outdated, and Android Auto Apple CarPlay is better anyway. You see here we've got this central stack. It looks like a 1990s hi-fi, but it has everything that you need. It's got dual zone climate control on it and everything like that. We've got heated seats. There are two 12-volt sockets. We've got one here and one here. There is a USB port on very early Tivolis. This actually was an HDMI port down here. We've got an aux in. We don't really use that anymore, of course. Normal handbrake, thank goodness, because this is an Ultimate. The late pre-facelift Ultimates have handbrake on the right as opposed to the left. They moved it in 2020 to the right. Whereas the earlier Tivoli had it on the left, which is probably a decent move to do that. This car's got a 6-speed manual gearbox. You can get an automatic as well. Let's have a look at the glove box. It's massive in this car. The dashboard was completely changed in 2020. It looks a bit more conventional than the later one. This one is a bit weird. You also got some weird consistency in materials. Like this is hard, that is soft, that is soft, and that is hard. Have a look at the glove box. What have we got in here? Oh, a sea turtle. Well, you can go in here, and also we've got this very, very strange shape on the dash as well, which currently is a nest for a kingfisher. The only thing I can think of is that it is something to hold a gun from a 1965 spoof James Bond film called Licensed to Kill, with a D on the end, starring Tom Adams, because he carried a Mauser in that, and I think that's for a Mauser. There we go. You can also put turtles and things in here. I think just sit if you can fit him in there. Yeah, look, he fits in there. He's not very happy about it. He goes in there. It's quite a big space out in there. I won't shut that over here. It'll be about myself if you do that. You also put kingfisher and a cup holder there as well. He'll be all right there. Door pockets are also pretty big. You can fit the front of it just there, like a 2-litre bottle of water if you really want to. So the storage in this car is excellent. We've also got a keyless entry. We've got a heated steering wheel. We've got sporty modes of steering, which is not really sport, that's like normal really. Comfort and normal you wouldn't want to use really. My lady wife likes using comfort one. The sport one is really the one to use, because otherwise the steering just feels like it's knocked into the car. So automatic lights and wipers, cruise control and volume controls for stereo, and hill descent control, which is remarkable for a car like this. It's pretty good. So lots and lots and lots of equipment. That's one of the reasons why we bought the car, with so much equipment on it. The ride and handling are okay. The ride's a little bit on the firm side because of these very, very low profile tyres and large wheels on this car. I'll speak a bit more about that in a second. One thing to go wrong in this car, which is quite early on the ownership experience of it, we got it in July 2020, April 2021, the clutch safe cylinder failed and left me stranded on a roundabout in Liverpool, and the car had 16,500 miles on it, which wasn't the best, but there we go. Right, I think that's most of the interior bits covered. We've all got a sunglasses holder in now, which is also good, and an automatic dipping rear view mirror. Right, let's get out of here before it steams up too much. Have a look on the outside and also in the engine bay. Actually, we've still got a bit of daylight out here. So these are 18-inch wheels, and the Ultimates, that's what they came with as standard. Unfortunately, these wheels, I mean, it's not just the fact we've curbed them a bit, which we have done. Some of them on the paint just seems to be coming off, which is really bad. It's quite common on cars with diamond cut wheels from this era. Yeah, this is the worst one. This used to be on the back of the car, and it's really bad actually. That's not just my bad parking. That's not so good. You don't get full LED headlamps on this. You get LED running lights. You don't get full LED headlamps But whether that's a problem for you, I don't know. It's sort of up to your preference. But I think actually the car has aged quite well. The fact that this design is 10 years old and you can still buy a new one says something for it, really. Right, let's have a look actually under the bonnet. Yeah, it is e-XGi, the petrol engine is called. This generates, from its 1.6 litres, about 125 horsepower. 0 to 60 in this car is something ridiculous like 12.5 seconds. It's not very fast. The automatic one's even slower. Yeah, the fuel economy, you can get up to like 40 or 45 in the summer. This time of year it's a bit less. But it's not too bad. It's actually quite easy to work on this car. The oil filter's just here. You know, because we've got all this height, it's actually quite easy to change things. This car's actually been, apart from the clutch safe cylinder, it's been quite dependable, really. We have this independently serviced. You can have them independently serviced, despite what the KGM or SsangYong dealer will tell you. You are able to do that and keep the warranty. This car still has a warranty until July 2026, and it's 150,000 miles. It's a bit less than that on these now, but that's what it was at the time. And any very registered garage one, they use genuine parts, which are very difficult to get, but you can get them on the warranty, which is good. Yeah, we haven't had to use it apart from the clutch safe cylinder, which was dealt with in 2021. Apart from that, no real major problems. The biggest issue we've had recently is with the rear brakes. During November, and when there was snow down here, obviously I'm down near Southampton, we don't tend to get much snow down here in the winter, but we did have some, and actually the combination of the design of the rear brakes, the fact that the pad had just been changed, and the fact we just came off the motorway about 5 minutes before we parked the car and putting the handbrake on, meant that the rear caliper stuck on and actually destroyed one of the tyres, and it took 100 miles for actually the discs to clear up and the pad material to come off it, which is a bit of a problem. So we had 2 new rear tyres, and they are a really weird size. Like, good luck finding tyres for this car, because that is one of the problems. They're about £100 each or something like that, if you can actually find them. But overall, it's very comfortable. It's pretty spacious. The back is actually quite big on this car, and it's a sort of a shame that actually this car will soon be discontinued. I don't think it's going to last very much longer in the KGM lineup, because yeah, it's just getting old now. It's a product of the previous regime, and I presume the company wants to sort of start winding these down. But people who own these, I mean, there are some problems with them. I've been looking on the SsangYong Tivoli UK Facebook group today, and people have had some problems with these cars, but a lot of people haven't. They've actually been reasonably dependable. And actually, this car's done 52,000 miles now, and it's all right. We're still on the original brake disc, for example, on this. We were on the original tyres until we had that problem with the brakes sticking on. They were fine. So, you know, as long as you can order the parts in advance when you service them, they don't tend to be too bad, actually. Those people who've never driven one kind of, you know, they think we're a bit funny or whatever, but actually they're okay. We wouldn't have kept it this long if they hadn't been, and we will have to sell it at some point, I suppose, before the warranty expires, but there we go. Excellent. Right, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for, I suppose, another update in July.